In today's news, a gun salute held as a mark of respect to Queen Elizabeth II, Premier to travel to the UK to pay his respects following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. Local family prohibits use of lands at the Ellis Thomas Downs effective immediately. Horse races cancelled until further notice. The government is addressing seaweed issue on Anegeda and other areas following the passage of Earl. Financial services industry reflects on the progress made 5 years later following the passage of Hurricane Irma. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, I can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you, you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home. Keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I huff. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Welcome everybody. It's Friday, September 9th, 2022. A fantastic Friday to each and every one of you. I'm Ron Grant, coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. I want to first thank you all for joining us and for rocking with us for this entire week. Beginning our newscast on the local scene, His Excellency Governor John Ranking, CMG, today led the territory of the Virgin Islands in the hosting of a gun salute as a mark of respect to Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II, who died yesterday, September 8th. The gun salute was fired at 12 noon at the Queen Elizabeth II Park. The occasion was attended by members of the public as well as members of the House of Assembly. Now, following the passing of the Queen, the Union flag has been half-masted at the Governor's House and Government House and will remain at half-mast until the day after her funeral, except during the proclamation of the new sovereign, when the flags will be temporarily raised. The BVI government offices are also lowering flags as a mark of respect. The proclamation of the new sovereign will be marked in the British Virgin Islands on Sunday, September 11th, and there will be a short ceremony at Government House and a further gun salute shortly after 3 p.m. Governor Ranking has opened a book of condolences at the old Government House Museum leading up to the Queen's funeral. In an official statement, the governor's office said, and I quote, "Leading up to the funeral, the governor has opened a book of condolences at the Old Government House Museum. The book of condolences will be open to the public from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Friday, 9th September, and then again on 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. on Saturday, September 10th, and then each working day until the day after Her Majesty's funeral, which is to be yet announced. Provisions have also been made for the signing of the condolence books for the residents of the sister islands here in the Virgin Islands. The governor's office viewers also added, and I quote, "Those wishing to sign the books on the sister islands should contact the district officer for further details." A virtual condolences book is also available online at royal.uk. Again, that's royal.uk. The office said further details will be issued concerning the Queen's funeral. For the territory will be invited to observe 2 minutes, of course, in silence in honor of Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II. Here's a video reflection from Queen Elizabeth's visit to the British Virgin Islands.
The Queen then drove along the new road to a welcoming ceremony in Road Town, where she received a gift of a model of a traditional Virgin Islands sloop. Livestock is an increasingly important part of the island's agricultural economy, and the improvement of animal health, stock breeding, and the extension of pasture are undertaken at the agricultural station, where the Queen was shown selected cattle and horses. The Queen marked another important event in the island's development when she opened the new Queen Elizabeth Bridge, linking Tortola with the airstrip on Beef Island. This will have growing importance with the increase of the tourist industry in these lovely islands.
Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalio D. Wheatley has indicated that he will be traveling to the United Kingdom to pay his respects to the royal family and convey condolences on behalf of the territory following the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Premier Wheatley made the statement in a tribute which was dedicated to paying respect to the Queen. He reflected on the two visits by the Queen to the territory back in the 1960s and then again in the 1970s and what it meant to the people of the British Virgin Islands.
Virgin Islanders and residents who are old enough will remember Her Majesty's two visits to the Virgin Islands. First in 1966, Her Majesty was accompanied by her husband, His Royal Highness Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. Then again in 1977, when my grandfather, Chief Minister Dr. the Honorable Willard Wheatley, had the honor of hosting her here in the territory. The people of the Virgin Islands welcomed her visits to these shores and the opportunity to interact with her. Historians recall in both visits Her Majesty's cool composure, confidence and charm as she mingled with residents at handicraft and agricultural exhibitions, the hospital, schools, the opening of the bridge named in her honor, and other places she visited. She made a lasting connection which has endured until today.
Dr. Wheatley said the legacy left behind by the Queen in her 7-decade-long reign as monarch of the United Kingdom is simply unmatched. He also extended condolences to the royal family on behalf of his government and the people of the territory of the Virgin Islands.
Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II leaves with us a legacy that reflects an unconquerable spirit, a monarch who was driven by her confidence in herself and her abilities. She will be remembered here in these Virgin Islands and around the world for her noble service to humankind. We join the world in mourning Her Majesty, and on behalf of the government and people of the Virgin Islands, and on behalf of myself and family, I extend condolences to the royal family, British citizens around the world, and the Commonwealth community on the Queen's passing.
Viewers, when 284 News returns, we're taking a look at the local family in the Virgin Islands who has prohibited use of land at the Ellis Thomas Downs effective immediately. That simply means that horse racing has been cancelled until further notice, and government is said to be addressing the seaweed issue on Anegeda and other areas following the passage of Earl.
You value traditions. Today. You value music. You value education. Family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Hello?
Wait, you had a lunch at camp? You don't say you were sick? What happened to our wedding rehearsal?
No, babe. I'm actually watching the news right now. Take a listen.
Topping our newscast today, UFOs seen around Tortola Pier Park.
And District 3 residents outraged over no water supply. They simply cannot bathe. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
All right, babe, just get some rest, take 2 Advil, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Okay, honey. I see you later. I love you.
It's clear to see that Coconut Lounge is a place to be, the coolest cocktail lounge in the British Virgin Islands. A lounge like no other, with welcoming, professional service, and a breathtaking ambiance. Not forgetting a diverse selection of wines, beers, and signature cocktails. Cozy, comfortable, contemporary. Coconut Lounge at Tortola Pier Park. Visit us today. Viewers, welcome back. Continuing on the local scene here in the Virgin Islands, in an official statement, the government of the Virgin Islands informed stakeholders and residents that until further notice, lands at the Ellis Thomas Downs are no longer accessible to the general public, which halts any horse racing events from taking place at the recreational facility. Now, the statement read, and I quote, "The public is advised effective immediately and until further notice, the portion of land at the Ellis Thomas Downs which is owned by the Thomas family may not be utilized in any way by the government of the Virgin Islands, its agents and or assigns. This includes the Horse Owners Association and any person connected thereto. The parcels of land are parcel 170, 171, and 246, block number 2736B, Sea Causeway Registration Section." Now, the statement continued by saying, and I quote, "We have taken immediate steps to comply with the directive issued. As a result, we have notified the Horse Owners Association of this important information. We are aware that races are scheduled to take place at the Ellis Thomas Downs on 18th September 2022. Regrettably, however, government is not in a position to say whether the current issues will be resolved prior to that date." Now, viewers, the statement also said, and I quote, "Accordingly, we have advised Mr. Lesmore Smith of the Horse Owners Association that it may be prudent to take urgent steps to cancel those races in order to mitigate the inconvenience to all relevant stakeholders. We want the public to remain assured that the government is committed to working assiduously with the Thomas family to rectify this situation as soon as possible." Now, viewers, in a message to the general public, President of the BVI Horse Owners Association himself, Mr. Lesmore Smith, informed supporters and horse owners of the situation. Smith said, and I quote, "I have received correspondence from the Ministry of Education and Culture about the use of the Ellis Thomas Downs with immediate effect. We can no longer use the track until further notice. Please follow all instructions to avoid the legal proceedings or procedures against the BVI government. I'm asking for full cooperation in this matter." The government has expressed that they are on top of the growing seaweed issue in the territory, which has now made its way to uncommon areas on the sister island of Anegeda following the passage of the then tropical storm Earl. Our Kamal Haynes has the story.
Photos and videos depicting the extent of the seaweed on the southern side of Anegeda were shared with our newsroom on Wednesday. Well, that prompted 284 News to reach out to residents on the sister island to grasp the extent of the issue, which stems from the global climate change phenomenon. Well, one resident by the name of Kelly Soares said the amount of seaweed that she saw settle on that area of the island reminded her of a similar rare occasion back in 2019.
All I know is that, I live right here on the waterfront, and it's affecting this whole waterfront, the whole south side of Anegeda, pretty much. It's very thick, and there's a lot more out there coming in. I'm watching it coming in all now. There's a lot of dead fish and dead, like, they call them shrimp-looking things, and it stinks. It's terrible. I know that we can't stop it from coming in. I know that. But it's a situation up there right now is going to get worse, how I see it, because it's a lot more coming in. It goes and it comes. The seaweed is always in and out, but it's never like this. It came after this storm. I guess it got worse after the storm. But the last it was like this, and I saw it like this, exactly like this, was 2019, September 2019. Because it goes out all past the dock.
Well, 284 News also reached out to the district representative, Honorable Vincent Wheatley, who at the time was on the sister island after traveling to assess the extent of the seaweed issue. He said it was not as bad as he initially thought following some of the reports he had received from residents, but said plans are in place to address the areas affected.
I had a chance to visit the popular beaches in Anegeda, like Colrec Beach and here at La Blali, and the Sargasso really is not anything to be concerned about at this point in time. The major area appears to be down certain point, like in front of Anegeda Reef Hotel, Whistling Point, and going towards the other one down there. But we've been advised not to do anything since it just really started like last night, to wait a few days before any action is taken. So it kind of settle itself to see what's going to happen.
Well, our news agency also spoke to the Minister for Natural Resources, Honorable Melvin Mitch Turnbull, who said he was aware of the seaweed situation. Well, the minister said he, along with colleague Wheatley, coordinated a cleanup plan to address the situation once the seaweed have settled.
On Anegeda, because of how the storm passed, the wind is coming from the south, which is causing seaweed to go in areas that we haven't seen before, much of before in the past. On Anegeda, I've been in contact with the district rep from yesterday, and including this morning as well, along with some of the community partners that we had worked with regarding the whale situation. So the representative and myself have now coordinated a team that, because the winds are still high and there's some sargassum that can be seen on the shoreline of the reef area, they're going to monitor it, and then tomorrow a plan of attack for addressing it with the machines and teams of persons and trucking, etc.
Well, Minister Turnbull also spoke about the sargassum seaweed issue, which recently affected the shoreline in Cane Garden Bay, one of the areas in the territory that is rarely affected by this phenomenon. He said elderly residents in the area were shocked to see the extent of the seaweed that had washed ashore.
In Cane Garden Bay, I think it was on Saturday going into Sunday morning, I personally went down to assess the situation again. I think that was the first time person said from that area, the eldest of whom I talked to was 75, 76 years old. They had never seen sargassum in King Adam in their entire lives. But we had a group of persons already mobilized because we know we were anticipating the arrival of Disney on yesterday. So on Monday, on the western side of the beach, which goes from Quito's all the way down to the Wedding Barn restaurant, a group of persons together with conservation and fisheries team, they cleaned up the beach. On the eastern side of the beach, the excavator and trucks are still working, because that's where the majority of the sargassum came in. So those guys are going to finish up removing seaweed from that end of the beach.
Well, Turnbull said his ministry has already commenced the process of assessing some of the other areas across the territory to see where else have been impacted. He assured residents that plans will be devised to address all affected areas.
And the other areas in the territory in Trellis Bay, that's going to be addressed. The team from Conservation and Fisheries, kudos to them. They addressed the Bruce Bay area, which had some sargassum as well. So we are monitoring, we are keeping on top of it. The member for the night, we also spoke about Virgin Gov't, but there's no issues there. The team from Conservation did what had to be done regarding the St. Thomas Bay jetty. And then we're also looking at in around Seacoast Bay, but I haven't heard anything major yet. But we are keeping on top of it in terms of seeing what is going on and working to address those issues as quickly as possible.
Reporting for 284 News, I am Kamal Haynes.
When 284 News returns, financial services industry reflects on the progress made 5 years later following the passage of Hurricane Irma, and Grenada elects its new House Speaker and Senate President. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.
The wait is over! CCT Fire is here! Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire, bring it home and upgrade today.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
The beautiful Virgin Islands, or nature's little secret as some prefer, where the weather stays warm and the drinks stay cold, where men in wigs get their lawyer bills paid by governments and governments lose planes, where walls are built and prisoners escape. You vacation where we suffer. BVI love.
Viewers, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. You're watching 284 News out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. The BVI financial services industry this week reflected on the territory's progress 5 years later, following the passage of Hurricane Irma. Rising like the phoenix, they say, from the ashes, describes the BVI's strength after being devastated in 2017 by the Hurricane Irma, the longest-lived Category 5 hurricane in record history. This week's BVI 360 report looks at resilience, BVI, Hurricane Irma 5 years on. No one could have anticipated 5 years ago that the precedented disaster Hurricane Irma would have literally demolished decades of development in a day, after sustaining torrential flooding in August and more rain after Hurricane Irma led to another disastrous impact of Hurricane Maria on September 20th, 2017. Now, viewers, if you do not recall, these events caused an estimated $3.6 billion in damage, including 4 deaths, more than 600 homes being destroyed, 85% of buildings damaged, and a decline in the GDP by 2.7%. Now, viewers, in some areas, full electricity took up to 6 months to be fully restored, causing 11% of the population to leave the territory. However, this was no match for the determination of the people of the Virgin Islands, who worked tirelessly to clean up and restore the territory, for which we now enjoy. It was this fast action that allowed for the financial services industry to have little to no interruptions. Now, the Financial Services Commission enacted the Financial Services Continuity Business Act that allowed licensees to temporarily relocate and ensure the ongoing functioning of the International Financial Center. This act actually permitted corporate service providers to use either on-island or international networks almost immediately, which led to an increase of company incorporations by some 15% in the remaining months of 2017 and 2018, outperforming the same period in 2016. Now, viewers, it is important to understand that even now, after 5 years of rebuilding, efforts continue still. The BVI remains agile as a leading jurisdiction in the financial services through its commitment to outperform year after year and adapt to the ever-changing global events that allow it to stay resilient. Reminders of the horrific events of September 2017 remain today, and there is still lots of work to be done. The BVI in 2017 is completely unrecognizable. BVI in 2022 is completely unrecognizable from the events of the 2017 devastating pictures that we were beamed around the globe weeks after Hurricane Irma. The strength, determination, and the recovery shown by a territory is quite incredible, even more so given that it has taken place with very limited outside support. Now viewers, the BVI 360 reports outlines Islanders' remarkable resilience to rebuild so quickly after a catastrophic Category 5 hurricane. It's indicative of a jurisdiction which consistently punches above its weight. It shows an ability to rebound from the toughest of challenges, and whether it is a natural disaster or worldwide pandemic, the BVI will always remain agile and resilient. BVI Finance launched the BVI 360 series to showcase the full picture of the BVI's financial services industry, bringing to fore the expertise, talent, and the evolution of the BVI as a resilient and innovative financial center, and debunking some of the myths about the jurisdiction. The BVI Finance commissioned the BVI 360 series from the UK-based Pragmatic Advisory and Independent Strategy and Economics Research Consultancy firm back in the UK. Viewers, we pan across to Grenada, just across the region. The new House Speaker and Senate President took their oath of office in Grenada at the ceremonial opening of Grenada's 11th Parliament. Leo Cato is the new Speaker of the House of Representatives for Grenada, succeeding former Speaker Michael Pierre. Cato holds a Master's of Science in Computer Systems Design from Kingston University and commenced a Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Technology at Walden University. Now his professional portfolio includes yeoman service to the Government of Grenada, serving in various capacities at the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development over a 20-year tenure. In an official quote, they said, "It is new grounds, having traveled in the field of education all my life." He said, "In agriculture to a lesser extent, but the House of Parliament is really new grounds for me. But I'm up to the task, ready to learn, and it is just a call for me to give more service to this dear land of ours." The fundamental role, he continued, saying the Speaker is to ensure that he or she educates fairly and ensures that the best interests of the people of the nation are served. Every speaker will be remembered for how he or she conducted the business of the House, and so I am approaching this new task with a clean slate. I am taking things as they come and will give it my best reasonable judgment, added Cato. Now the House Speaker serves as the legislator's arbitrator and ensures that members of Parliament abide by the rules. Meanwhile, Dr. Decima Williams is Chester Humphrey's successor as President of the Senate. All sides of the Parliament should all agree that it is the future of Grenada, that we are here to enhance the legislature for its betterment. So I look forward to that. I'm a bit excited about the diversity of members of the Senate from where they come. So it is going to be a truly Grenadian process to bring the harmony to Senate, said Williams. Williams led a 40-island global climate change initiative through climate change discussions while serving as Grenada's ambassador to the United Nations from 2009 to 2013 and as chair of the Alliance of Small Island Developing States. She founded the Grenada Education and Development Program in 1996, which supports Grenada students as emerging leaders. Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell congratulated Cato and Williams on their appointment, and we too want to wish our colleagues over there in Grenada the very best. Viewers, that is it for today's News Roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at 284media.com, and of course like us on Facebook at 284media, as well as 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I am Ron Grant. I will see you again tomorrow as I deliver your weekly news roundup. Just in case you missed any of our newscasts this week, the roundup on Saturday will highlight all the major stories taking place within the Virgin Islands as well as on the regional scene and international. We are 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news right here on 284 Media. A happy Friday, everybody. Have a beautiful rest of the day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
What? No man to take you.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Top up power.
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top up power?